I'm Monte Nitzkowski, and today we're going to talk drills. In fact, 101, plus or minus a few, of my favorite drills, drills which should help the coach to build his practice plans. We're going to go from the basic drills of ball handling and passing right on through into advanced concept drills for building the tactical end of the game, the counterattack, front court offense, defense, 6-on-5, and the such. 101 drills does not try to show every drill that's ever been invented. Most coaches that have been coaching a number of years have probably forgotten as many drills as they remember. Rules change, concepts change, tactical approaches to the games change, and as a result of all of this, drills need to be changed. Coaches need to be creative, and that's what we hope that we can encourage through this particular video. And that is for the coach to build drills that will be applicable to improving their particular approach to the game. Now, I've tried not to go back and use many of the drills from our previous instructional videos, particularly those on ball handling and passing and vertical shooting. We're trying to show as much as possible drill structures and approaches and different approaches. Those videos really will get specifically into a lot of the ball handling and passing and can only add to this tape and to the coach's knowledge of and wide expanse of drills. Now also I might comment that we're really emphasizing skill drills in this particular video. Conditioning drills, and sure, some of the drills we show could certainly have great application towards conditioning, but basically we are trying to show the skill drills be a basic part of the game. I don't believe in, for example, running shooting drills that aren't totally applicable to the style of offense you're running. The only drills that I would run that are not a part of a game would be drills for conditioning and maybe to warm the goalie up. But practice time is always limited. There's never enough time. And so when I get into drills, every drill is an integral part of my game plan. And so always while we're drilling, we are working on our game structures. And I think that's really important. I feel that players sometimes feel like, well, drills are for drills and games are games. And I make it very clear to my players, our drills are part of the game, and when we put them all together, we create the final end of the puzzle and give the complete approach to the game. So we really utilize our practice time with game-conscious drills, and I think that's really important as you design your own drills. Okay, now, what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the pool, and we're going to start with the basic drills, ball handling, passing, dribbling, starting right with how to pick the ball up, and we'll move from there through shooting, and then on into the tactical aspects of the game as far as drill building. Okay, let's move over to the pool. Starting with picking the ball up, we're forming two lines about 14 feet apart, and we're asking the players, first of all, to pick it up from underneath. To do so, they'll just simply reach a hand underneath, roll a thumb in towards the ear, get the ball up next to the side of the head, and pass it wet. See, they're putting the ball wet to the player across from them, and they're just passing it back and forth by picking the ball up underneath. This really is simple, but needs to be worked on. Now here comes a player. We'll show you where we'd use this. See, coming down in a counterattack, the ball comes up from underneath quicker than from on top. Now we're taking a look at picking it up on top. And again, another drill, just practicing picking it up on top. Press the ball down. As the ball comes back, lifts back up, just rotate the thumb, this time to the outside. That puts the ball right next to the head and ready to pass. Now, where would we use this? Well, let's just walk this ball in for a shot, hand on top. We walk it in and fire the ball. Now, as we move along, we've picked the ball up. Now, there's several ways of advancing the ball. One is through dribbling, which we're starting to practice here.
This is what we call the numbering by 3 drill, where we number the team off by 3s, put the 2s on one side, 1 and 3s the other, start the 1s, each one of them with a ball, and here we're just practicing our dribbling by the numbers as we come across. We just looked at regular dribble. Now we're going to push dribble the ball. Again, nothing that you would necessarily use in the game, but a wonderful way to develop the hands, a nice soft touch and good ball control, but also keeping the head high, elbows high, back arched a bit as we move through, and practice improving our hands. This three-person numbered drill is an excellent way to work in a lot of different ball handling techniques. Now they're walking the ball, just as the player did a few moments ago, taking that shot. The hands on top, they just have it cupped sort of between their hand and the wrist, and they just simply swim and stroke the ball right through. And in this case, we're letting players do it with their dominant side arm, but you can switch and have them do it with their left too. Young players should really have an opportunity to run this particular drill sequence. Now we're doing what we call carrying the ball. They're looking left, looking right, looking behind. And we carry the ball, say, possibly at the end of a counterattack, get that ball up from underneath, come in aggressively for the shot, looking left, right, behind for either an attacking defender or looking for a player to release that might be a pass to a better shot. But see how they're walking, and they're walking ahead, straight ahead, moving that ball hard as they go. Excellent drill in our 3-person numbered drill. All right, here they come again, and this time again, just for a little ball handling as we learn to improve our skills, working on that egg beater kick as we come across, we are simply passing to ourselves. Now, you don't hear a whistle here, but every time that they exchange hands, and look at them moving it right across their face, see, they're from one hand to another, but it's teaching them balance. And if you could hear the whistle, we whistle that pass. So the coach should be on the deck whistling that pass in front of the face. But again, we're carrying the ball, working on really moving forward, good balance, and again, working with our left hand and our right hand. All players need to really work to develop both hands. Okay, now here we come again, and now this is just a little warm-up drill, but again, we pick it up from underneath, putting some of these things together. Some of them will pick it up underneath, a few will pick it up on top, and then we're just shooting the ball down hard in front of us, just starting to warm the arm up a little bit, the shoulder, getting ready for some shooting later. But again, an excellent drill. All right, now they're coming across, they're dribbling hard, we're sprint dribbling now. They start with their head up, then they bury their head. Keep their eyes open so they can read the legs of the goalie that might be in front of them, or possibly some defenders. But again, just working on max speed, really moving out and moving out very rapidly. Now we're still in 3s, but now we're working with one ball among 3 players. In other words, we're still working to the 3 count, and look at, we're practicing the dribbling motion, and he picks it up on top. Let's see what this player does. He picks it up underneath, and we're just practicing the different skills, putting it together. Remember, there's 2 ways to advance the ball in water polo. One is the dribble, the other is the pass. In this drill, we are incorporating both. Players, really young players, really need to be drilled in the skills. Now, here's another one, a reaction drill, a good hard lunge kick. We go out, hook the ball away, roll to your back, and pass it back up to the coach or whoever's making the pass on the sideline. Now, you see what we're doing? Sometimes they're short passes, sometimes they're long passes. I love this drill because it really rehearses reaction time, and they can't look back at you passing the ball. Look at, they're looking straight out. The first time they can move is when they see the ball coming over their head. They don't look back, sprint out, get that ball, and fire it back up to the coach on the deck. I use this drill a great deal, particularly getting a team ready to practice and move quickly. All right, now we are going to really passing structures. And probably the most popular form of passing structure is just 2 lines. They are working 2 lines, a goal width apart, working in pairs. They are working right hand to right hand, or if it's a left-hander, they're working dominant side arm to start with. Now, they've all switched and they're using their offside arm, in most cases here, the left arm. Now, we have an extensive video on ball handling and passing, so we're not going to look at you know, the hundreds of passing drills that you could run in this. We are really looking at structures here. And while they're making this pass, these players are just simply warming up. They went left to right, right to left. They're just working in the two-line structure, which is one of the three major structures I really believe in. Now, simply, we've moved them now about 6 to 8 meters apart. Now we really start getting, again, the arms warmed up. Notice we're going right hand to right hand. We want no talking in these drills. We want these players really concentrating on their passes. They really weren't using their legs enough. Players should really get up and don't let the passes force you backwards. Look what we're doing now. A stroke away, roll, and make the pass in, wet like you're throwing it to a 2-meter man. There's just so many different drills that will really help game strategies that can be utilized or worked into these. But simply there, we were taking, as I said, the one stroke away, rolling to our back, and making the wet pass. So we're really looking, as I say, at the two-line pair passing drill. Very, very popular. Now, this is something at the end of this, after we've worked on push passes or all types of passes, many of which we haven't shown here. Now we're simply showing that we can, 8 to 10 meters apart, can really throw that ball hard into the water. Should be thrown hard into the water in front of the player, your partner. And this, again, allows for the shoulders to really get warmed up before we start our shooting. Now, again, in our ball handling and passing video, we look at all types of different passes and what the players should think and be working on as they make their passes. In this particular video, I'm trying to show some structure, so we're not really concentrating so much on the pass themselves, but the triangle structure gives you the most space in the pool. You see 2 triangles out there, and it's nice number-wise. 3 to a ball is a perfect number for a tremendous number of passes. Now they're catching and spinning again, really not using the legs, really not getting up, not turning their shoulder and their hand to meet that ball. That's better, but see, that player hasn't turned. There he turns, better spin. But the point I'm making here is simply the triangle structure. If you've got a big team, you can fit more triangles in. You can fit them all over the place. They fit beautifully. You can start, as they should, 2 or 3 meters apart, and you can just work all types of passes, just anything that you want off of this. Here they are now. They're push passing. Put the ball in the water, push pass, practicing push passing. They can practice and come around here in a moment with tip passes. And as I say, in our ball handling and passing video, we will show you just drill after drill after drill in this configuration or structure. But the triangle structure fits together so well in the pool to give you, you know, the best utilization of space needs. So if your team's large, triangle drills are really important. All right, now we're going to move over and take a look at another structure which would be very, very popular. Now, and I use this structure, and it's the circle structure, but I use this structure simply really for some look, we're just passing it here, right to right, no different than when we were in the 2-line. But now look at, you can put somebody in the center, move the ball around there, going right to left, left to right. Once they've gone the full circle, that player should sprint out. The next player moves in. But again, you can work all your passes, your catches and spins, your pushes, your tips. You can work everything. But what I really like about the circle is that you can have fun and make some challenging, competitive games for these players to do. For example, first circle to 100 passes. First circle that can get to 100 passes wins. Or the circle that can go the farthest without the ball ever hitting the water. And you can set up competition that way. And players love competition, and particularly when passing drills can get a bit boring. And, you know, you can have it set so if they mess up, they've got to swim an extra 100 or 200. Whoever's first doesn't have to swim at all. Now we're kind of going in a rectangle, and we're simply showing a timing pass drill in a rectangle. We're working in groups of 4 now, rather than in a circle or a group of 3 with a triangle. And here you come, bing, there it is. We call it out as he comes. He goes, says now, there's the pass. And we don't want to stop. We're throwing a timing pass in perfect stroke synchronous. He stopped. He shouldn't stop there. But think of what you can do on this. You can run square outs. You can run hooks. You can go timing passes to the back off of this. You can go just countless drills. You can go early wet, late dry, whatever you like. Now here's another fun one. We call this fish pond passing. Pair up, 2 players, 1 ball. And look, and they're just simply passing and going. And these are all wet, you see, as we start out, make them all wet. Now, they're not really going hard enough. You should pass and go really fast. As soon as you pass, go as hard as you can, and then that pass should come wet. And again, the pass and go is a great way to get free in water polo, and the fish pond drill is a wonderful way to develop the pass and go, get a lot of swimming and a lot of movement. Now, they're still in the fish pond, but you can see they're just simply going dry. And you can square or hook with the ball here, take it dry, but again, you should pass and then drive. And see, they're not quite they're not moving far enough or fast enough, but you can spread your whole team throughout the pool and run this drill to your heart's content, and then players like it. Now we're looking at 5 on the line. We'd go either 5 or 6 on the line. That should be based really upon the length of the course. If you're going a 25-yard playing course, I would go 5 on the line. If you're at meters, 30 meters, I'd go 6 on the line. We're looking at 5 players here. This is going to end keeping the ball dry, alternate side hooks or square outs. Now here they come right off the shot again. One side should square, but we want to take it dry in this drill off the square and then keep that ball. It should never touch the water. And as soon as you make the pass, get right back into the pattern again. And with this distance, there should have been 1 extra player and it would have worked out beautifully, but this is what we call alternate side, square, keep the ball dry through to a shot. A game realistic, nice recognition drill. Now this final passing drill, I really didn't know where to put it in, but I guess we'll put it in here. We want to draw the foul. So you bring that ball, swing it around into the player defending you, drop it so that the referee will blow his whistle, then kick up hard and make that next pass. So many times your perimeter players are smothered by hard pressing defenses, and you really need to work this drill so players can learn how to draw a foul so they can move that ball up to your 2-meter player. Okay. So much for that. Let's now move into some shooting, and we need to start our shooting drills. And we're not going to look at every shooting drill that's ever been seen, but let's look at some important things and ways to start. First of all, with young players at somewhere between 7 meters, don't have a 2-meter player in there to start with. Just take a couple of strokes forward, pick it up, come to the vertical, and shoot it immediately. Practice picking it up on top, practice picking it up underneath. See, that player picked it up on top. Let's see what we have with the next player coming in. Picked it up on top. Now you see we've gone to the next step. Simply now we add the fake. These should all be, as I say, it shouldn't be outside of 8 meters or inside of 6 meters. They shouldn't be concentrating really so much on trying to beat the goalie, but simply placing the ball. There's a left-hander, but again, no passes involved here. It makes it very simple for young players to just pick that ball up, fake it, and shoot it. So we started with picking it up and not faking. Secondly, we went to picking it up and faking, and now we'll go to what we call working the ball. See, they're faking, but look at it. He's moving across the pool to his left, improving the angle. Now he's moving to his right, improving the alley or then angle to the cage, trying to outposition maybe a defender. But players really need to learn to work the ball. So we pick it up on top or underneath and move in and practice very simply with that vertical shooting. Now, the next step up is simply to add your 2-meter player in. And even as we do this now, we're doing what we call the rear back or rear back, and we can really see how important passes are between the 2-meter player and the driver. If that ball is not timed, if it's not well thrown, it's really going to affect the shot. Now, as you practice rear backs, there shouldn't be a pause in the shot. You should come in hard. They're not coming in hard enough, and you should never fake or draw the ball down there. You should catch and release. This is a total quick. You should beat the goalie, sometimes have the ball in the cage before the goalie even reacts. We're shooting RBs now, but we've changed the drill a bit. As you can see, we're going what we'd call change of direction RBs, working left, working right, as we do the rear back. And the rear back is saying, look, you haven't beat your defender as you're driving, so your rear back to try to get free for a shot there. Now we're going the two-line drill. In this case, we're starting with a line as you look in, bringing the ball in about a yard or two lead over the trailing line. We come up hard, and we make this pass, and it should, see, that pass is too easy. It's got to be thrown firmly so that it can be caught and shot, and see if they're getting the ball so that it can be shot. See, now that ball can be shot. Now, the way we run this drill, we say, go get 20 goals, but we don't count a goal if the goalie even so much as touches the ball. The ball must be clean to the net or clean to the canvas for the goal to count. And then, as soon as we get 20 goals there, we reverse the side. Now this gets real tough. You saw that player on that line closest to us here. You saw him off balance. We've got to learn how to be on balance with the cross pass. Keep these lines, that's a little too tight. There, he's on balance against the nice goal. No touch by the goalie. That would count, but we got to get 20 before we switch it. That would count. He didn't touch it. But this is a beautiful drill. Cross pass to a shot. Keep your lines wide. Now, the next drill we're going to work on, and I like this one, and again, you see we've eliminated the 2-meter pass, and we're just simply letting a player come in and really tighten up. And I don't want to do what that player did and change and move sideways and turn out. Keep coming and just let that player get right in the middle of your back. And here, this is more like what we want to see. Get so that you're used to carrying a player on your back, keeping the ball in front of you, and just simply muscling it into the goal. That makes drivers so much tougher. There wasn't enough D there. Get all over them here. And yeah, even if there would be a penalty throw, we're not practicing defense here. We're practicing getting tough with a player on our back and getting the aggressiveness to get in that. See, that's not enough D there. You got to have more defense than that. But I think you get the gist. I love this drill, and it sure does toughen players up. Now we start the sequence of off the water. There's a quick off the water. We're starting at 11 o'clock. We start every drive with a head fake. Here's a left-hander, so it'd be a timing pass. Left-handers always get it dry, where right-handers get it wet. So this is a right-hander, always on that outside hand. That's what we call the power wrist shot. So we go a quick wrist. Here comes a quick wrist with a, excuse me, there's the left-hander, so he gets it dry. We're going now still from the 11 o'clock with what we would call a change of direction. We cross cage drive, and then we come right back across. But the passing patterns are always the same. There's that move, not a hard enough, but see, he's right-hander, and there's a right-hand power, or what we call a power wrist rather than a quick wrist. We'll see it again. Here he comes, and see, that's too easy. You got to be driving. If you're going to drive like you're trying to get free. A nice wrist shot, but now this is more like it. Driving harder, come hard, and there's your left-hander through, and even though the ball was blocked, was the right idea. Okay, we're just running, as I say, our 11 o'clock, what I call drive or off-the-water shooting series, which we comment on in detail in our front court offense 1 and 2 video. And we really get into why we do this. Now, there's your left-hander. He's going the other side, so to the 2-meter player's right side, the left-hander gets it wet, the right-hander gets it dry. This should be to what we call a slide. Now, watch it. He comes across, and the readout is slide out on that left hand and take the ball. That was a little better pass by the 2-meter player, but watch how these shots are affected. Now, that ball's thrown pretty well, but watch if the 2-meter player makes a poor pass. All right, we've moved it to the point or 12 o'clock position. Head fake left, drive right, off the water. There's a left-hander. He gets it dry, but right-handers in this position get it off the water. There it is. The ball should be passed to them at about 3 meters on the outside hand, and there you see it. Beautiful shot, wrist shot. We're coming from the 12 o'clock or point position. Now we go the other way. If it's a right-hander, he'll get it dry, but that ball should be at about up at right over their head at about a 45-degree angle so they don't have to rear back into the defense. We're working on drawing either getting a great shot or a 4-meter. See how that pass there? Not good. The player had to shovel the ball. Simple 2-meter pass, but the 2-meter man, now, there he got it up and we get a goal. So all these things are so important to practice, to get the timing, get the passes. We assume passes are good sometimes when they're not. In this case, this drill, the 2-meter player gets the same experience as the shooters do. We're coming from the 1 o'clock side straight onto the, onto that 2 posts there, and we're working on the timing pass. As you can see it through to a shot, left-handers would get it on the water. Okay, now we're at 1 o'clock, but we faked in. Now we're cross-cage driving, and there's the power wrist. As I say, there's the quick wrist and the power wrist. This is a left-hander. Look at him. He slid. That's the key for the 2-meter player to make the pass. And, oh, there's the backhand. This is one of 2 places you can really throw the backhand. The other would obviously be from the 2-meter position itself. But you are looking at our off-the-water front court drive series of practice drills. And I really believe in these. This gives beautiful reads to the 2-meter man and the driver. Now, as soon as we've gone with no defense, we put on extremely passive defense, and we tell the defense, take the fake, go for the fake, and so that then simply, very passively with the defense, we can simply practice the timing between our 2-meter player. And see, that pass was too low. The ball scored, but they got to get that ball so that driver does not have to shovel it. Good pass, and there was your power wrist shot. Okay, coming in here again, let's see what we get. There's the timing. Oh, I see now we've changed the drill. And again, we're just going quick repetition. Bing, bing, left side, right side, left side, right side. So the 2-meter player now is learning to always have the ball. See, the beauty of this is that you're consistent with your passes. Okay, here comes a right-hander to the left of the 2-meter player. It's on the water. Right-hander to the right side, it's dry, and a timing pass if it's a straight-on drive. Okay, there it is, and again, that wasn't much of a shot, but the pass was correct, and there's your timing pass, but don't bat that ball, catch and shoot it into the cage. But there is another, what we call a quick reaction, 11 and 1 o'clock drive drill, keeping the same passing sequences or patterns, which are so important to discipline. Now we're simply backstroking the defense away. We're back to our RB now, but again, we've got defense, but again, only passive defense, practicing on the pass between the 2-meter player and the RB, rear back or rear back player, getting the experience of shooting around the defender and catching and shooting and getting the time. See, he brought that ball down and shot it. That is not the way to take that shot. You want to get it, catch it, and shoot it. All right, here's a fun one, the deflection drill. They come in, you don't try to make it go faster. You just reach out, as he did in that case, and either change the direction the ball is going or take some speed off the ball. Don't try to pick the speed up. Take speed off, like he did right there, or simply get a hand up and deflect it. And boy, does this, there's a beautiful one. This really helps soften players' hands. They get used to a nice touch to it, and great drill for young players to learn. And the ball must be shot from the perimeter. It can't be passed to this player coming, and the player just flares up a little bit, left or right, as you can see, and just simply gets a hand on the ball. But again, a great drill for players because it has some applications, as you'll see in a moment. There's a goal with a deflection. Here's an application. Look at, to a foul, right off the foul, to a shot and a deflection. And we're not going to get a goal here, but you can see what the possibilities are. Great to work on as quarters close or after a timeout. Beautiful. Okay, let's move over to some 2-meter shooting, the hub of our offense. We've got to teach young players how to shoot the ball and how to pass it. Best place I have for real young players is just put them on the bottom, have them practice their sweep. He's sweeping left now. The first 2 times he swept to the right. Just practicing the fundamentals of the sweep shot. Then we move in and practice standing on the bottom, very simply, the fundamentals of the backhand. Now, we really get into detail on this in our front court offense, volumes 1 and 2. We show maybe 45 minutes of 2-meter play and work to develop the 2-meter player. But again, we're just simply working standing on the bottom. Now, the next step really should be shooting those 2 shots with no defense. We don't show it here, but you should take and put them in the goal and let them practice with no D. Now, simply, we ask the defender to be passive, get his face out of the way, move it to the side, away from the shot, and we practice. Now we're practicing our backhands just as previously as you were watching. We practiced our sweeps. Now we're going to practice turning the player, the third of the 3 very critical, important shots for 2-meter players to learn, working both sides, doing the turn shot. Now we do a little bit of drill where we incorporate a couple of drills. We've got to get the pass into the 2-meter player, so let's practice drawing the foul on the perimeter. Let's look at it right now. We'll saddle up, draw. Okay, he's making the pass in, but that's a poor pass. You want, okay, now we draw that foul. Now bring it around there, and you turn it, and you put 2 drills into 1. I always say the second most important pass in all of water polo is the pass into the 2-meter player. There was a very poor one. Obviously, that's why we practice it. Up, here we go, and that's a better one, probably enough to get the ejection or 4-meter of the shot, but still not great. Now we're animal drilling. We're coming really hard, making that player, giving a chance to try to get the ball off with defense that they would never see, what we call a bear hug defense. The animal drill is totally described how we do in series and sets of 5, going to strength, and now here would be the animal drill going to quickness. They're not getting a shot off because I'd be blowing the whistle too soon. There he gets the backhand off. The animal drill, like I say, is really explained in our front court series of video. But it's a very important drill to develop strength and also quickness. Now the availability drill. We've looked at 2-meter men hitting drivers and outside players for shots. Now we're just simply releasing the ball, learning how to hit the release passes on the perimeter. Very, very important for both your 2-meter player and the perimeter releasing players. I can't think of a more important drill than the availability drill in developing your front court offense. Okay, and normally we'd look at it with six players. We were just showing 4 there. Okay, now we've moved away from the 2-meter player for a little bit, and we're going to take a look at some perimeter shooting. We are simply looking at what we would call the 11 and 1 o'clock shooters, and we are teaching these 2 critical positions to perimeter shoot, and that ball must be passed so that it can be caught and shot. And we don't want to do what that player just did, and that is shoot off the fake. We want to see that these players are committing the goalie, and they're not really getting the goalie committed enough. Then we want to see, once the goalie's committed, a good cross pass that can be caught and shot. And let's just look. See, that player never even looked at the goalie, and you really see where players need work. The goalie has got to be tied to the ball, then the cross pass. See, now there was a pass that couldn't be shot. And so I can't overemphasize just some of these really simple drills, 11 and 1 o'clock, developing the critical fundamentals of catching and shooting immediately from a pass that is well thrown. All right, now simply we have 11 and 1. Now we've added 12 o'clock, or the point, and we're doing the same drill. In these drills, we allow the players up to 5, 6 passes in which to beat the goalie and take the shot. Then the next group comes in. However, if the ball hits the water, if it's a poor pass outside, an overpass or whatever it is, then the next group will come right away. We don't reward a bad pass, because a goal is a pass. A pass is a goal. That's what makes the goal, is the pass that leads to it. See, that ball's coming across too slow. That's better, and the quick release. That was far better as they set their outside triangle. Now, if you'll notice, we've put in another player, the 4th player in this puzzle, and that is our 2-meter player again. So he's back with us. And what we're doing is doing the outside triangle and then simply putting a pass in, seeing that he makes the good release pass, which he did in that case. Now, see that player drop the ball outside? Bring another set in. And this is where you really keep this drill moving. There it is to 2 meters, pretty good pass outside, quick release shot. Probably should have faked it and gone cross cage and then for a quick release shot, it would have been an easy goal. But that's why we practice. We don't expect these to be perfect. We just simply expect good release pass, slow on the shot though, probably that big fake cross pass, and we'd have had a goal from the left-hander side there. Nice pass out. Cross pass is a little bit too high, caught the player off balance, doesn't make the shot. See, this is so important. This is the hub of your offense, particularly in a 3-3. And offense, but also when you're working to break a drop back. Now, if you take a closer look, we've put a defender in. Now we will allow the 2-meter player in this drill. There's a pass or a errant pass, so we bring a new group in. But now we allow the 2-meter player a shot if he can beat the foul, and of course the coach is blowing the whistle on the deck. No defense on the outside triangle. That's your next step up. All of these things have to go from the simple to the complex. There's your foul. See, that ball's out too low, should have never been shot there. Poor execution, and that's why we run this drill. We want that ball snapped around, goalie committed, good outside pass. Not bad there, too high there, good fake, this should be a shot, and it was. It should have been a score if he'd have found the inside of the post. Now we've taken to its next step, and that is simply putting defense outside, and now we have the total picture as they are running a drop back into 2. It didn't shoot it, back out, ball is alive, freest player, concentrate, come in, back into 2-meter player, outside, cross, ooh, there would have been a nice time to put that ball to the goalie's right, but you can see how we work this drill. Now, I will comment here that, and we won't show it on this video, but I would simply, after we leave this step, and they've got this running pretty well for them, I would put 2 more players offensive and 2 more defensive players in and run the full front court scrimmage from the drop. And again, you started this with simply just the 11 and 1 o'clock shot, and you just keep adding to the drills. And boy, these are great drills for developing not only perimeter shooting, but recognition as to when the 2-meter player is free for a pass. Okay, the 3-3, the 3 outside players in the outside triangle, 2-meter player, the heart of your offense. There's the pad. That ball was high coming in. You don't want that. That ball's got to be wet so it can be handled. Nice fake there, but again, the ball was thrown too high. Moving into another of my favorite front court drills, the loop around. Start with a point drive, 2 wing players, 2-meter player, pass in. We're working alternate side drives. You can hit the driver as they did the first time, can hit the loop around as they did there. Pass comes in. Can hit the loop around for a cross pass to a shot. Finally, can come in, go cross cage, back to 2 for a 2-meter shot. Defense can be put on this, and you can run this as a regular scrimmage. The loop around drill, a fantastic drill for front court team shooting. Another team shooting drill, the Guarini drill. We're working right here on the single pass concept. Nope, excuse me, we went to the double pass while I was talking. This goes into 3 series of 5 goals each. And you start with a single pass, ball comes in, you blow the foul at 2 meters, the ball is up and shot. Once you get 5 goals from that, then you make a second cross pass outside, finally to 3 passes. In the final 3-pass series, it's great drill for the goalie because anywhere you can break that sequence and shoot it after 1 or 2, and the goalie really has to stay on it. All right, let's just follow it here for a second. As we go, ball in, there you blow your whistle, ball's up, there's a second pass outside, 3rd pass through to a shot and a goal. Nice execution. See what they do this time. There's the foul. Oh, look at we're on the 3 shot sequence or pass sequence. He shoots it on the first one. And again, another nice shot. Now let's move into a series of drills to develop picks. We're going to take a fast look and start with the outside pick, with a moving pick from 11 and 12 o'clock. Here it comes, and notice the first sequence we practice crossing over with no defense. This is the way picks need to be learned, and we're playing like we get free to the inside, one time one side, one time the other. Once we've done that, we're going to play like the defense pinches back. This is the sequence you want to learn it, so we have to screen and shoot the ball. But this happens all of the time, and we're reading it even though the defensive players are not there. Now we add defense even on the 2-meter player. We tell the defense to play passively, follow through, and we get the inside shot that time to the goalie's or the 2-meter player's left. Now we'll practice it, crossing and getting free. And look at the slide. Always the shooting rules prevail. We slide and take it dry. Now we will pinch back with the D, creating the screen and the shot. But this is the way you learn and teach picks. Okay, now let's move in and look at some defense. Certainly a very important part of the game, and a game that has to be drilled extensively. I like to drill as much defense as I do offense. I think it's just critical to winning programs. The old lunge blocks, and there he knocked it down. Simply using the lunge kick crossing over the body, and you can go the near side or the far side hand, but you want to sight that ball and sight your hand right into the passer and try to knock the ball down as it's thrown. But lunge blocks should be practiced. A great drill for one-on-one D. Now here's a simple little drill that we would use really only with our 2-meter defensive specialist, but he's playing against a 2-meter man. He's doing what we call foul and look. You don't want to lose contact. He's losing contact. Now we're going to work the other side here, but it's the first foul drive. So all he's doing is fouling and looking on the first foul to make sure a driver's not coming that he would have to switch to. Fouling and looking. All right, now we've moved to the 11 o'clock position, very popular driving position, and we're working on just one-on-one drive defense. Again, we really get into detail in volumes 1 and 2 of our defensive videos, but simply showing here the drills, and you've got to work the 11 o'clock position. We moved to the point now, and we're simply guarding that 6 to 4 meter area all the way in. We're forcing the player to go to the side away from his shooting arm, his favorite shooting side from that point position, and that is really important. Now, see that player, he got his hands up too soon. You don't want to do that. From 6 to 4 meters in, you've got to be swimming, and that is very, very important. But we're showing this from the 11 o'clock side, but you've got to work 11, 12, and 1 o'clock and get these players, and they've got to know that they're going to have help for an RB between 6 and 2 from a stair-stepping help, but they've got to cut down the inside. They can't quit swimming too soon or they're going to get beat. They can't go for stop and go. There's a stop and a go. He did a pretty nice job of defending that, but you really need to work a lot of one-on-one D from the 11, 12, and 1 o'clock. Later, you can add the RB. Now they're going to throw the RB in, but first I would just simply drive and don't even make the pass. You're only working really to start with to cut down the inside. Once players learn to do that, then let the driver RB and see if they can reverse back outside quickly as they did then. Once you're playing good D, you start practicing letting that goalie block the strong side, see where he's sitting, and go what we call the extra stroke drill so that we don't get the 4-meter penalty throw call. Catch up, draw shoulder to shoulder, take the opposite side hand, the inside or the outside hand, and reach across the player. Now watch this. He comes hard, and he probably reached too soon, but that's the idea. That prevents getting the penalty throw. The goalie locks down this side of the cage, forces the shot cross cage, and you've probably done the best you can once you've been barely beaten. There's a pretty good job there, and he gets him shut down. The extra stroke drill must be practiced. Now we work practicing switching. Now, 2-meter switches, you've got to start with the drive coming in tight so that the player can foul and make the switch. You've got to get the switch successful because this switch is a tough one to make. And so now look, we've spread it a little more, and then you just gradually spread it out. And because the players have got to recognize that they can't go over 2.5, 3 strokes and make that switch. But that's the way we practice that one. All right, now we're just practicing coming around the horn, fouling and dropping. Now you can't always foul and drop, but if you're close enough to the 2-meter player, and players have to learn distance that they can get in and out of, if you can foul and drop to prevent that player that you fouled from making the pass to the 2-meter player, you want to do it. If it's too far out, here's an overpass, then we go to a time switch, and we practice the time switch. And again, time switches are really discussed in length in Volume 2 of our defensive series. But here you see it. Here we come in, and okay, there's the overpass, big. There's the foul. He crosses over, point man comes back, and now you see it takes him a lot longer to get that ball back to 2 meters. You can buy about 7 seconds with the time switch drill. Now we're going to do what we call stair stepping. We're following in the drive behind. Now these players are going to follow too far at times. All we're trying to do is take the 2-meter pass away to the driver and the RB. See that point white hat there was way back too far because you can't leave your outside man so they can follow in and get a shot. But that's what we call the stair stepping. All right, now look at this is what we call filling a gap. With a 2-meter switch out, look at the 11 and 1 o'clock defenders. They fill in between the gaps, try to confuse the 2-meter player as to where the release pass should really go. Okay, let's move into some counter drills. we need to practice who we counter off of. There you just saw us countering off of a perimeter shooter. We always want to burn shooters, and players need to practice this. There's the off the water shot. Look at, we're coming off. We're not chasing with the D, and that player that's going is staying on his stomach too long. Should get out 4 strokes max, get to the back, get some goalie eye contact. And here again, a player we always want to burn is that 2-meter player. Very, very important. And finally, the best place of all probably to get free is off the offensive foul. There we practice moving over to take that pass and get our offense going. So those are the people we want to counter off of, and players need to practice this and be thinking about this at all times. The next step up then, we would start with some swimming, one-on-no-one breakaway shooting drills. The goalie making the pass, and what we want to do is get to our back, get eye contact. And there's a scoop and bat, which I don't push too hard. I think it's a tough shot to score. I'd rather see the ball come up. Now, this player's not even going to shoot it. I'd rather see a scoop and bat than that. But here we go. This is what we're looking for. There's that eye contact, early wet, late dry. That pass was early, so it comes wet, comes in, picks it up, and should fire it in the cage. You want to always get those players so they're aggressive in that last 7 meters of the counter. And again, we've got 2 hours and 30 minutes of counterattack film which really show these drills. We're just showing the sequence. We went one-on-no-one with no D. Now we've put the D or the chase in. And you can run 4 lines and 4 goalies and run this simultaneously from both ends, down one side and the other if you choose. And you can get a lot of your players active, and they love this drill because they're really getting to move. But at any rate, we're looking at the one-on-no-one breakaway. And there was the early wet sequence as we come down. And again, young players should have tried to probably stay in front for the ejection there as well. Now we've moved it out a little bit, and all we're going to practice here and is this early wet, late dry theory. If the ball's late, like it is there, it should be taken dry. And goalies need to recognize that. Field players need to recognize where they are on the field of play. And so we always want to practice early wet, and we always want to practice late dry. Now we come to keeping the one-on-no-one breakaway alive from the field of play. Sometimes the goalies can't make that pass. Maybe the other goalie's cheating out, whatever. So we go to the square out. There's the square into an early wet pass through to a shot. The square out 2 lines. These lines should start about a goal width apart and about 4 meters out. And now see, that's late, so it should be dry. Wasn't well shot, but it's a pretty nice pass. Okay, he's got onto his back. You don't need to do that. Just release on your stomach, right angle, 90 degree, make that pass. He makes a beautiful pass through to it. Now look, we've switched sides with this because you must always practice all your drills on both sides. Excellent goalie pass, excellent field pass, and an excellent shot there. But here is the square out, 2 on the line, square out drill. And you just line all your players up at one end, and in this they can all stay and then come back, or can come back down the sides and reform the lines again, however you choose. There's late dry. Notice we've put some defense. I want passive defense on the square out. Just force the guy so you've got to pass up over the player, and we want about a 2-stroke lead with the shooting line. And now we're going to practice. We've gone one-on-no-one. That's just what we looked at with that last square-out drill and the one-on-no-one breakaways. Those were all one-on-no-ones. Now we're practicing 2-on-1, and we've put a defender in there. And I'd always put a defender in there, and simply we make the decision whether we cross-pass it or improve our position and shoot the ball ourselves, depending upon what the defender does. But players, this is a high-shooting possibility, and players really need to practice 2-on-1 at the end of the counterattack. When we move from 2-on-1, we move up to our next structure, which is the triangle, 3-on-2. We always form in our systems a triangle in the 3-on-2. We're simply bringing the ball straight down the middle with the outside line. I, as the coach, am blowing 2 whistles. The first whistle, the lead break goes. Second whistle, shooter comes in, and then they make the decision as where the ball goes from there. There's your first whistle. Here comes your second whistle. The ball's up, and the point of the triangle decides to shoot it then. This can be played with or without D. You see it without D here as we run through this sequence. Now we're going to go 2 whistles, but simply we're going to put the ball, rather than in the middle, on the left side outside. On the first whistle, the middle man man and the right side go. Middle man crosses over to take left side lead break, and the player with the ball who started on the left side, as you see, crosses over to the middle to reform the point of the triangle. Triangle 3-on-2 shooting. Very, very important. Now we come in, we just switch the side, now over to the right side with the ball, same drill, you get a little bit better picture of it. 2 whistles always, here it comes to the middle, picks it up, he decides to shoot it. You can shoot it, and we don't allow more than one pass, only one pass, let me say that correctly, only one pass, and in for a goal. All right, let's take a look at it about one more time with that crossover, and as I say, as you go along, once they've mastered this, then you can add some defense. All right, now we're going to look at what I would call popping the point, and that is what happens when all 3 players arrive at the same time. Again, our counterattack videos really get into this in detail, show you right up to game action, international play type of popping the point, but this is what we call reforming the triangle by popping the point when all 3 players come at the same time. Look, we've added some defense for you, and we go 3-on-2 with the triangle structure, ball straight down the middle, and we could bring it from either side and follow that situation. It's just what you want to practice. Now here he comes down the middle straight away, get the ball up, and he's picking up on top, very dangerous. In this instance, the ball should definitely come up from underneath, about 3 meters away from the defensive player. All right, the rectangle structure, 4-on-3, the highest number that we'd attack up to. Look at that offside player over on the right side off balance there. You've got to stay on balance in that lead right side, and so many young players make that mistake. They back, and there it is again. And see, they're missing that shot. They can't deliver it quick enough or enough on balance. They've got to get the center of their chest facing the center bar of the cage. All right, we do the same thing. We put some defense on, and we take it through to a shot. And 4-on-3 is really tough, but it should be practiced some. Now we put a chaser, 3 whistles. Here comes the chaser, and you're going to see that it's going to break down right away because the execution was too slow. You really got to get that ball up underneath and move it quickly. Now we're going to go what we're going to call 2-pair. And simply, we're starting out here with just 2 pairs of offensive players, a pass into the hole, the shot, and we practice breaking off. Now, if we were really scrimmaging this, the defense would definitely chase. Now we're to 3 pairs. The defense would chase. We'd go all the way to the other end, and the goalie has to make the readouts. Is somebody free? If so, what are they going to do? Are they on their back? We're really totally looking for the readouts. Now we're 4-pair, and 4-pair is really game realistic in the count. Okay, let's move into some full front court offensive drills. Let's start at 6-on-6. And here we're just going what we call logical driver up. I call the name of the logical driver. The defensive player falls off a little bit. All the rest of the defense plays well, and we get the feeling of the drive game with full D. Now, we can come right back and run that with picks. And there's a moving pick, giving the ball to the slide side over there. Let's take a look at it from the other side. And again, just setting up and running game drills but game drills working on timing, all the defense playing well except for the initial D. Okay, now come away from 6-on-6 down to what my really favorite drill of all is 4-on-4 scrimmage, because now you've got the heart of the offense. And if you see us going 4-on-4, you see we're starting with a press, and you can run this beautifully with a press, and you really got your 2-meter player, you've got your 3 key drive positions, and oh, there's just so much you can do, and the coach can see so much looking at just 4-on-4. I highly recommend 4-on-4 scrimmage drills. Now here we are, 4-on-4 with a drop back. So you can run it with a press D, you can run it with a drop back, and you can really get a tremendous amount out of that type of practice. Okay, here we go again into some 6-on-5, and we're just going to show a few drills here that are very important, and I cannot think of a drill that is more important than what I call the hot potato drill. If teams can pass the ball, every pass going so it can be shot, then they can play 6-on-5 in either a 4-2 or a 3-3 structure. If you notice, we're not shooting, we're trying to locate the ball, and when we go to the post, we just go post to post and kick it back outside. So when we hit a post, and you should come in high to the post, and that ball always up where it can be moved to a shot. Hot potato throwing, what we would call logical passes around the 4 outside players and then working the post. A great drill. I think it's the base of all 4-2 structures towards really creating success in your offense. If you can't pass, it isn't going to happen. Now, you can go instead of 6 there, you can go to just your 4 outside players, eliminate the post, and really check these players out and see, are they passing where the ball can be caught and shot? Every pass should be to a shot, and here it comes to a shot, and we're really working on those players. Now let's look and practice a drill where we practice the shots. We're looking at the 1 player over there. You just saw him shoot an alley shot. We'll bring it over now because he's come out into the pocket, rotated, and he goes cross cage to the other side. 2 critical shots to be learned by any player playing in the 1 spot. Now he's going to shoot what we call a wraparound shot, or a near side, brings the ball back from the pocket back to the side he's on. Those 3 shots are critical. Let's look at the 2 post. And again, run drills, you don't have to have all 6 players out. You can work in triangle pairs or whatever, but get in these logical ones and go to the shots that they must shoot from their position in a ball game. Now, we just saw the 2 backhand. We just saw the 2 inside shot. And let's see what comes off here. Okay, we're going to go 5 in there. Very logical pass there for a shot in that position. But I'll tell you, players need to really learn these shots. We've moved over to the 3. We're working on the 3 with a pass in from 1. We'll see this later in the film in some actual game shots where you'll see that scoring. Now, these are also, there's your near side triangle, pop back out for the cross cage shot. All these passes as we work into the 3. Now we're going to come to the 4 player for a shot and let him work on his quick release. Oh, excuse me, we're going 4 to 3 inside. We're still working with that 3 player. But players need to practice the shots they're going to get in the games, and that is just so really important. Now we're going to bring it over to 6, and okay, we're working the 6th position now. We're coming right across that front line. That was the 6 to an alley. Now we'll rotate 6 out as you see him come out, and we're going to work 6 to a cross cage. And there it goes. And those 2 shots must be practiced heavily by the 6th player. It's just so important. Like I say, you don't have to have all 6 players. You can work in groups of 3, 4, whatever you want, but get these shots practiced. Also, you'll notice as we work to the 4 player now for the quick release shot, that these passes are not only logical passes, but they're also what we call priority passes. As a player catches, if he doesn't shoot, he should always, his next pass should be looking to his priority spots to see if he might have an opening in the seam for a possible shot. And there was the 1 to 5 for the quick release. And finally, a couple of shots, just dumping it over the top. We're going 4 to 2 there. It'll open up once in a while, particularly when defenses are really chasing. And again, that's something else that we want to drill. But this is a beautiful drill. The hot potato for the passing, and then train your shooters in their priorities, and we got it. Okay, let's look at some 6-on-5 game action. Let's see if these players are actually, now that wasn't such a good pass. There's one that can be shot. There's one that can be shot right through to one of those priorities, near side triangle, for a goal. Let's run this first series or 2 or 3. Let's watch the offense, and later we'll look to the defense. Nice pass. See, that's the hot potato drill. As you can see, those passes are on the money. Every pass can be shot. They're bringing it out to the point. The 4s move to the point, goes inside, right over the top, as we showed at that time. Instead of rotating to the right, just backhanded in from the left. But that player was on balance at the post, ready to receive that pass. We'd never want the ball on the water. See, it's on the water there. You'd never want the ball on the water in the 6-on-5. There it is again. But again, beautiful read, post to post for a goal. All right, now let's look at the D, the inside D here. See those hands up? They scored the near side triangle, but let's watch the D a little bit there. And we can run drills. You can look at the players, the defensive player between 1 and 2 and the defensive player between the 3 post and the 6, and see if they are cutting off the inside shoulder when the ball's on the opposite side as it is there, and see if they're getting that hand up or attacking out on the 6. There's that hand up. Is it protecting the goal? Oh, we got a little rotation there. One was out. They chased out on him. Okay, okay, hands up, hands up. No, he's chasing out, coming across, but just the chase out, looking back at the offense when the player chased out, he could not get back to get the inside shoulder on the D. Great priority read by the one player in the white hats as they get the goal. There's so much to see and so much to learn here. Now, we do all kinds of scrimmaging, and there's great ways to do this. You can just leave a team in till they get 10 shots or till they score 10. One of the ways I love to do it, the drill I love to run, is the defense gets 1 point if they stop the shot, and the offense gets 1 if they score it. So this, the defense can win 10-8, or the offense can win 10-7, 10-8, however it may be. But keeping that challenge in there for the players is really important, and that goal count is a great drill to run. Okay, we're going now, and we're going to do some counting. Let's watch the D again here, because we need to work 5-man D, and scrimmaging it is important, or you can go to fewer players and just work in some of those slots where you have to teach them to chase. All right, did you see that? That was a 2 out. Now look at the 2 posts rotating back in. They went from a 4-2 to a 3-3 back. Defense is good. Here comes a 5-man counterattack. Got a player up out there, the long pass down. Goalie'd come out, is chasing back. But again, another thing that you can practice in drills is 6-on-5, working on the offense on the 6-on-5, 5-on-6, working the defense there, and then working the 5-man counter. Now, oh, look at that. If you go back and rerun that, you'll see that the player playing the inside D did not have that position cut off with his arm. And the goalie looked bad on that, but that was not the goalie's fault. Now look at, he's got that spot cut down there now. You see that arm out? He's not going to let that happen again. And there's the ball stolen in the middle, kicked out to the side for the start of the 5-man counter. And simply we're saying, hey, we're working on 3 things here, all in one drill. 6-on-5 offense, 5-on-6 defense, and the 5-man counter play. All right, let's take a look at it another time here. There's that hand up on the inside as we look at to the D. Look at that ball up offensively. Can it be shot? Is it up high enough? Yes, it's up there. Nice cross pass there. Near side triangle. Doesn't work. Good defense. And again, here comes a 5-man counter. Brings it up to the lead on the right side. And we'll see, I don't know whether they can keep it alive, but great practice, and sometimes in very important games, they do keep it alive for a goal. All right, our final set here. Let's look at let's look at the outside D. See that between the players on 4-on-5 as they work back and forth inside. And again, the steal in the back line, because that white-hatted player between 3 and 6 was on the inside shoulder, taking away that pass. Great job of defense. Practice pays off.
Yes, practice does pay off, and drills are an important part of any practice. Practice for success. This last hour, we've looked at many, many drills, going from the very simple to the game type of tactical drills. I wished we had more time in this video to spend developing each drill, but that was one of our problems. If we want to show 101 plus or minus a few, we had to move quite quickly. But again, the tactical videos on counterattacking defense, front court, 6-on-5, will play back very, very well for you into those areas to further explain not only the drills, but why we do them. I'm wishing you the most success now with your polo program, and I just finished with this final comment, and that is, drills, you need to really work to develop your own drills. Be creative, make them work for you. Good luck, and thanks.